Students is very special to me, and I often joke with them that I now know why parents have a special bond with their firstborn, as these students have been my firstborn in developing this program. We've had our successes with lots of cheer and laughter, and our failures, and yet we never gave up on one another. As we all know, the last year and a half has been like no other times in education. And no, I do not want to say the C word tonight. And yet, this group of students is proof that deep, intentional, thought-provoking learning can happen no matter what is going on, as long as there is an environment that helps students with the flame inside of them. And that is what I think Pre-AP is all about. As Margaret Mead once said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. When I look at these faces, each one embodies Miss Mead's words. And I know great things are going to continue to come from each and every one of them. This is a bittersweet night for me as I say goodbye and send these students to their next educational destination. They will always have a special place in my heart as my first for Pre-AP. Thank you, students, for all you have given me with your inquisitive questions, team collaboration, research, and even the scuffles we had along the way to get your work done. I now present to you the Pre-AP mini dissertations, and I would really like it if you would be willing to give them a round of applause before they start and at the end. And without further ado, we're going to begin with Asiya.
How has cancel culture impacted the school's views and opinions? The reason for why I did this project was to determine if cancel culture is truly affecting the minds of adolescents, our future and the future generation involved. And this is because, in case you didn't know, cancel culture is the ostracization of a group of people or people within social media. Those who don't are a part of their views or views. During this, I found a data analysis, and I analyzed data on such. This was done by finding about 49 participants from the 7th graders within Ms. Martinez's class. Through this, I found many surprising things. Most of them were split into two groups. One was, yes, that cancel culture was a very irrelevant thing and that it harmed more people than it actually helped, as it says. And two, that no, that it was actually helpful. Although a striking fact that I found was that some people found it very much harmful to society and people. However, they thought that it could have been actually used, and not that the system itself was wrong, but the people itself. Through this, I found many things about myself, that I do genuinely love to work and to write, and all things about finding problems within the whole place.
Hi, my name is Andrew, and my study is researching forensic science and homicide research. My research question is, how might improved forensic technology impact evidence gathering and homicide cases in the next decade? To me, forensic science is interesting because it has many uses and is a modern advancing technology. This topic is important because violent deaths have been steadily rising in both developing countries and well-populated cities.
this hype, it's important that we understand encryption algorithms as they're the protector of our digital data. My research question is how can the design of a pseudo-random number generator affect the quality of encryption systems? This research is quantitative because of the statistical analysis that will take place. This topic is closely related to our data privacy, which is the reason why I want to explore it. The topic is important as it will help frontline developers make safer products for the mass consumers. For this study, different forms of pseudo-random number generators are tested using multiple statistical tests such as run, monobit, and approximate entropy to evaluate for their randomness. Along with the results of the test, the resulting numbers from the generators are also shaped into dimensions that will fill our need for implementation. This is done by stacking multiple random binary strings to make a binary 2D block. And each x index of the block, we can evaluate for its average value, which should be in between the numbers 0 and 1, and with most of the weights being in the center. However, with only a few layers, it's not very plausible to do a full analysis. But with too many layers, the computing time also increases. So it is important for us to see the balance between the y layers and the x indexes. Doing this will result in a graph that might look very chaotic. This is due to the fact that the values are stored from random binaries, but we can still use this to see trends of a certain generator. We can step this up further by counting the number of occurrences for each average value, which should result in a graph with a domain of 0 to 1 and the data points following the standard distribution. We can use this to determine the randomness of any given binary data. In conclusion, it is found that generators BBS and MT have similar specs, while the brain and GPT-2 transformer have worse performance overall, but with GPT-2 on top. What I learned from this is that many rumors online about the generators are false, as they are more similar than different. What I learned about myself in this 2-year-long journey, however, is much like what Nelson Mandela said: it always seems impossible until it is done. This study is heartily dedicated to my educators, family, and peers. This is only possible because of their guidance and support. Thank you for listening.
Here on their research. Students, I hope you heard a common theme throughout all of your presentations tonight, and that was the theme of perseverance. And that is a lifelong skill that even adults struggle with. So I hope that you take that skill that you have learned, and that you have learned that you can conquer great things if you just put your mind to it, and if you don't procrastinate, and you set great goals and deadlines. So the gift that you're going to get from Dr. Dinh and me tonight is a book that's called What Do You Do With an Idea? And the theme of the book is You Change the World with an Idea. And I think we have great examples sitting at this front table of the difference that you are going to make in this world when you become an adult. So thank you for your hard work and all of the great things that you accomplished this year. And I can't end without saying a huge thank you to Dr. Dinh. 3 years ago, 3 years ago, we sat in my office and I gave you really a blank canvas and said, take this challenge and challenge students and give them this experience, and you have painted a beautiful mural after 2 years of really, really hard work. So kudos to you. I appreciate all the time